John Ging says he's not happy with the access his humanitarian workers are getting across Syria. The UN humanitarian worker said his teams recently crossed conflict lines in the country for the first time, however, in a deal that Ging says his team worked out with the Syrian government.
After a considerable discussion, they agreed that we would have, from their perspective, all of the support that we needed to cross the conflict lines. We tested that then immediately with our mission when we went to Homs and successfully crossed into Tel Beise.
That one good incident is exceptional in a sad sea of bad news. According to Ging, 2 million Syrians are internally displaced and more than 4 million remain in need. Wealthy Arab nations, along with France and Turkey, have provided millions to pay militants and arm them to overthrow the Syrian government, but the humanitarian appeal for everyday Syrians is grossly underfunded. Access to food, medicine, and especially drinking water is disappearing.
Urban water systems are falling apart. We've done an assessment of the amount of water accessible to displaced, for example, and that's gone down to a third of what was the case before the conflict, from 75 liters per person per day to 25 liters per person per day.
According to Ging, medicine that used to be widely manufactured in Syria is now hard to find. And afterward, he spoke out about the irony of the appalling humanitarian need, pointing out that before the Troubles, Syria was the place where millions of Palestinian and Iraqi refugees lived for years, adding that they were treated well, even integrated into society. The Syrian Arab Red Crescent remains his team's key partner, but aid integrity remains crucial in a zone where everything, especially humanitarian aid, has become so political.
But we should not be naive. There are real risks. There are, of course, always going to be problems, and we have to be on top of that. And that's why we have to be more present out there on the ground with international presence, and that's our big focus at the moment, is to get more international presence out there on the ground.
Better protected and staffed camps, he said, were keys to keeping humanitarian aid from being stolen by militant opposition groups. Hank Flynn, Press TV, New York.